Hi there. If you're watching this video, it's because you've been asked to speak in a Tri-Cities Christian Church Sunday worship service. Thank you. Your speaking is a service to the church, and it's going to make our worship even better. There's a lot going on in our worship services. There's a welcome, a sermon, communion, contribution, announcements, and worship, and it's all tied together by the same two goals: glorifying God and edifying the fellowship. We want everyone to have a good time, but we want them to be inspired by God and by His Holy Scriptures. To that end, there are some keys in this video that are going to help us get the most out of our speaking and out of our worship service. The reason why we want to have a high standard and high expectations for our speaking are straight from Colossians 3, verse 23, where it says, "And whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." Keep that in mind as you listen to this video. It's the Lord Christ that you're serving, so you want to do your best job possible. Let's look at some keys. Every part of our service has its own unique perks and challenges, but there are some key principles that apply to every speaking role that I'm sure will benefit you. The first one is preparation. Prep. You never want to walk in on a Sunday not knowing what you're going to say or what's expected out of your speaking role. If you get asked to do a welcome or a communion or even a sermon, you want to check in and make sure you know what's expected of you. It's important to get advice beforehand, and especially to take notes so you have a plan before you walk up to the podium or get on camera. A big one for me is prayer. I love to prepare before a sermon or a welcome or even announcements by praying through my notes and praying that God speaks through me. God can speak through a great sermon, but He can also speak through a great contribution message or welcome or announcements or any of it. Another good tip: sincere zeal. Sincere being the key word. We've all seen that guy who's really corny and goofy and cheesy. All right, brothers and sisters, I am excited to be here this morning. Who's with me? I am too blessed to be stressed. Come on, can I get an amen? Yeah, you don't want to be him. It's kind of off-putting. I'm talking about sincere zeal, the genuine joy that we have in being together and worshiping God each Sunday. Church is a great place to be. It's fun. You're with your friends. You can let loose a little bit and show genuine joy. The key is, when the speaker is zealous and inspired to be there, the audience will follow suit. A third thing. This one's a little bit trickier. Avoid kingdom speak. What I mean by that is, I'm a kingdom kid who had a quiet time with my discipler. You know, all the church slang that we use that seems really normal to a member of our church. For friends and for guests who are maybe visiting church for the first time, this can be really confusing and even off-putting. So try to avoid kingdom speak in any speaking role. Here's a fun one. Zoom. We're living in Zoom times. And so when you get on camera, it's important to have a good lighting and framing situation so we can see your pretty face. We all have seen the guy who gets on Zoom and has not considered his lighting situation.
Okay, so Andrew told me to do the welcome today. Wait, what do I look? Do I look at, is that the camera? What do I look at? What am I supposed to look at?
It's a bad look. Try your best before the cameras get turned on to be in a room with good light, to frame yourself well, and make sure your microphone situation's set up all good too. This one also applies to Zoom. Mistakes, technical errors. Here's the thing, everybody. They happen all the time. Sometimes a video doesn't play right. Sometimes the Wi-Fi cuts out. Sometimes someone forgets that it's their turn to speak. It's okay. When mistakes do happen, it's important to be respectful, lightly acknowledge it, and move forward. If the speaker doesn't freak out about the mistakes, no one else will. Act normally, and the service will flow just fine. My last tip for you: respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, baby. This one seems a little bit off in this video, but I feel like respect is one of the most important things that we can display as speakers. Not just respect for the word or respect for God, but respect for one another. I've seen before, one speaker gets up and he kind of makes a joke about someone, and then that guy gets up and makes a joke back, and suddenly it's not about worshiping God anymore. It's about those two guys. That's weird. We don't want that in our services. We also want to show respect to our audience, to the fellowship of believers. This can be shown in the way that we use our time. Maybe somebody goes a little bit long in their portion of the service and you have a lot of notes that you want to share. It can be a very respectful and very humble thing to just cut your part down a little bit, to keep service moving because you respect the audience. These are some small keys, but they can go a long way in our worship service. Thanks, Josh from 5 minutes ago. Listen, these keys might seem small to you. They may seem even oversimple, but they go a long way in helping the flow and the worshipfulness of our Sunday service. Things like preparation, sincere zeal, respect, moving through mistakes. It goes a long way and it helps us glorify God. Thank you for speaking this Sunday. I pray that you do a great job and that God speaks through you. Amen.